It was so hard to see. And then to sit there and tell her, like, you are okay, but I didn't know what was going on. Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My dog just had a seizure, what I believe to be a seizure, about 2.5 hours ago. I don't have any experience with seizures, but I've seen people online and family members and just word of mouth, like, talk about it and everything. So I used what I've learned from them and applied it to my dog, and I was able to see what was going on and say, hey, that seems like it's a seizure. So this video, I hope, really helps someone whose dog may experience this, or person. You know, I know it's different, of course, but there are similarities. I'm not trying to give any kind of medical advice on what you should do or anything, because I don't even know what's going on, but just helpful information so you can be aware. And yeah, but this video also might be triggering too, so heads up on that, because this is hard. Okay, my dog is around 15 years old. We had a normal night and just hanging out. We had a little party, just like my household Big Brother party, and you know, Solo's doing great. And then we're laying in the bed, I'm scrolling on my phone, and all of a sudden I see her back leg start to shake a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, she just got a little, you know, I've done little things before, just a little shake. But then it was like really intense, and then she kind of like fell over on me, and then her whole body started shaking really intensely, and it's like she just couldn't get a hold of herself. And I'm like, okay, this looks like a seizure from what I've heard and what I've seen in videos and stuff. So her eyes just kind of like this, like paused. I don't know what the word is. It was so bad. She's just shake. And then her mouth started opening, and it's like she was trying to shut it. I'm just going to kind of give an example. She was like going. From what I've seen, seizures look really scary, and that's what looked like was going on. So I just held her up against me. We were laying down, and I'm like, it's okay, Sola, it's okay. It's okay. I was trying to tell myself this too in my head, because it was really hard. She had like some of her saliva coming out of her mouth. It was so hard to see. And then to sit there and tell her, like, you are okay, but I didn't know what was going on. This is going on for about a minute, and in my head, I'm trying to figure out what to do. And I've seen people and heard people say, you know, you just let them know you're there, let them hear your voice and everything. You can put them up against you, or they can feel your touch, different things like that. I've heard there's different things you can do with their tongue or their mouth, and I didn't really know what to do. So I kind of was just like observing. I was in a state of shock, and I was trying to do my best, but you know, what is going on? And then I'm like thinking, like, I can't call 911. I wanted to call 911, and then I wanted to record it, because I was like, oh, I can show this like to a vet or whatever, so I know what's going on later. And there was just so many things going through my head, but I just kept, you know, and I was remaining calm at this point, like, everything is okay, we're all right. I pretty much pretended like she was having a panic attack, and this is how I would treat someone else, treat myself. And that's what I did. So then she came out of all of that shaking, and she just kind of like just fell over just a little bit, and her tongue was hanging out of the side of her mouth. Like, I was scared, because then I wondered, is she having a stroke? Like, I know dogs do that sometimes, like whenever their other dog has done it, like when she's too tired or something, like her little tongue just sticks out. And it was just odd, because like I said, she's never had seizures or anything, so it's just an odd experience. So I'm like, is this a heart attack? Is this a stroke? Like, I think she just had a seizure, but is it turning into something else? I did not know. And I was sitting here trying to look up emergency vets, which is something that I should have already had posted, which now I realize. And I called my mom. I live at my parents' house, and she didn't answer. So as soon as Sola kind of got calmed down for a minute, then I ran to my parents' room. And before this, I was not crying or anything. And I just started crying, because I'm like, I don't know, like, is she about to die? I don't know what is about to happen. So I'm like knocking on my parents' door. I don't want to scare them or anything, but I knock on their door, and I like peeked in, and I'm like, Sola, and it was hard for me to talk or whatever. And then they ran in here, and I'm like, I don't know, like, I think she had a seizure. I don't know if she's dying. I don't know what's going on. And they were, half asleep trying to assess the situation. And they were really trying to help me and figure things out. And I'm like, oh, do I run to the emergency vet? Do I not? Like, we don't have like a local emergency vet. It's like literally 30 minutes away, which hate that. I wish we had one closer. Proposed that in my town. Then, my parents were my dad was like trying to calm me down because like he didn't know, like, is she dying? Like, what's going on? So he's just calming me down. And my mom's like checking Sola out and he's trying to check Sola out. We're they're kind of discombobulated and we're just trying to figure it out. And I was in such a state of shock, and it's almost like I was paralyzed. Like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I felt helpless at this point because, there's not just like 911. And even if there is 911, of course that would have made things 100 times better, but it's still, I just didn't feel like I was doing enough and I didn't know what to do. So it took me a minute to like myself figure it out. Then she started panting and she just like wasn't acting like herself. She was like discombobulated and just kind of like falling around a little bit. And her breathing was a bit labored, but she was out of that seizure form. Like, it wasn't the shaking, it just kind of turned into something else. And it was just kind of weird. Like, she was kind of moving around a little funny, I guess, trying to figure out like what was going on. Like, she was like out of it pretty much. And it was just so hard. And I hope I described it the best way that I can. I know that I'm involving everything else that happened, but I'm just kind of sharing my whole story here. And she just kind of calmed down. She wasn't really acting like herself. She just kind of seemed a little out of it, which I would too if I just had a seizure. I'm sure that's what happens. I immediately called my friend because her friend is a vet tech to see like we get a hold of her if she was awake. And then I started like looking up emergency vets. Like, I'm trying to do everything that I can, but then I felt like I wasn't doing enough. I really got mad at myself. I was beating myself up and I'm not doing enough. This isn't okay. I want to do something. We need to do, like, what do I do? Like, to take her to the emergency vet. I couldn't, like, my mind just, you're in this state of panic and you do the best you can. But when you're not, I'm not an emergency doctor, so I only know so much. Once like, things started calming down and everything, I'm like, okay, that was probably just a seizure. And then my parents agreed and we just kind of like chilled out and they hung out in the room with me for a little bit. Just want to say I've already told my parents. I was very sorry for waking them up, but I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. So what I did after that is I just started looking up, trying to figure out if it was a seizure, which I was almost positive it was, and then what to do after. And I just got like a little cold rag, and I put it on her belly, and I just kept comforting her and kept her and hanging out. Like, she was just wore out by this time. I didn't know if I was supposed to offer her water, but I did offer her some water because she was panting and stuff before. She didn't take the water at first. She literally just took the water, and this is 2.5 hours later. Once we got everything, got calmed down, my parents went to bed. I went straight to town on looking up emergency vets. I gave them a call to see pricing, what was the distance. That's the first thing I did because I'm like, okay, if I got to take her tonight, and that's another thing, I have agoraphobia. I struggle with driving, so I would have to get my dad to take me. I was aggravated at myself because of that, because I want to just be able to, if there's an emergency, I need to just go. Like, I don't want to have assistance and stuff, but that's where I'm at in life. That's what it is. I am making her a little binder for both of my dogs. I'm going to put the emergency hospitals right here on the front, the 24/7 ones, and then I'm going to work on the animal hospitals that are open during the day that just accept walk-ins and stuff. I started listing down everything, and by the way, like, at this point, I was trying to multitask too. Like, I was trying to take care of her and then trying to work on stuff at the same time, but I was just talking to her, letting her know I loved her and everything's okay. I know it was scary. She's never had any kind of like medical problem like this. I mean, she's had medical problems, but no sort of seizure or anything. And I believe that it looks more scary than what it actually is from like what I hear and see. So it was just, I just want to emphasize how scary it looks. And moving forward, yes, I was calm and stuff like that, but it was traumatizing to me. And now I'm going to work on calming myself down. I work on some decompression and stuff, which I have done, but work on it some more and just realize when, if this happens again, or if there's ever any emergencies in my life, I got to remain calm. I have really bad anxiety as it is. So I mentioned that I got the animal hospitals. I got all of that wrote down. And then I started writing down just different things, like trying to remember any new things that she's ate or any things that have been different with her. I thought that she's been having joint pain lately because she has been, like when she's sitting in a place, just laying down, a couple minutes later, a lot of times she has to move and like adjust herself. She's 15 years old, so I'm thinking joint problems. And then sometimes she gets these little shakes, and I'm thinking, oh, she just kind of adjusts her body because her bones don't feel good. So I was going to make her an appointment for a senior checkup anyways, so she can get on some arthritis medicine or something, whatever they do for that. And then I started really thinking like, okay, what has been going on more lately? I feel like she has been peeing a bit more. That seems to be something she's doing. And then like she'll go outside and sometimes she won't even pee. And I'm thinking like she's just doing it because she wants a treat, which maybe she is. But then is she dealing with a little bit of confusion too? I don't know. She's going to the doctor tomorrow. We got to get her right in the vet tomorrow. I have not wanted to leave her side. Like I will go to the bathroom and I will run right back. There she is. She's all nice and cozy and sleeping good. You don't want to be on camera? I also wanted to add, it's like she lost her personality after it happened. Like, I was so upset. And I guess I just wasn't thinking that, okay, she just had a seizure. So that was a lot on her. But she just, she didn't want to lick. She wasn't wagging her tail. She just looked like confused, like looking around, trying to figure out what was going on. And just, she didn't know why y'all all in here looking at me and talking. So it was hard to see because it wasn't just her happy, chipper self. And I was like, did she lose her personality? Like, was there brain damage caused? I didn't know what was going on. So if that happens, just wanted to share that to prepare other people that may be something that you experience as a personality change. I am just really embracing this time with her. Like, I'm just so grateful with her right now. You don't want to be touched too much. Sometimes she wants to be touched and sometimes she don't. And sometimes in certain places. Her back's been a little sensitive too, so we'll see what's going on with you. Sorry you had to go through all that. We'll figure it out. Let's get some rest. Hi friends, we are about a week and a half post seizure. And let me not ramble and try to get straight to the points. I was venting before and I talk a lot, ADHD, so yeah, okay. I took her to a doctor the next day. She's very nervous at the doctor. She has a lot of anxiety going to doctors. And the doctor, there wasn't much, there's nothing really that they could do. They said that it could be a brain tumor. They're not sure. For that to be able to see, you got to get an MRI, which they don't even have. You have to go to a specialty, and that can be like $5,000. She wasn't going to put her on any seizure medicine because it's just like one seizure. She said this can happen. This can be something that reoccurs, and then we can look into seizure medicine, or she may never have one again. It's like unknown. And I got them to do a urinalysis because I feel like she pees a bit more now, but she didn't have any UTI or anything. There was something about it being a little diluted, but she said that's pretty normal because as we age, like our kidneys function goes down. She just had her blood work done in July, so the vet felt like it wasn't necessary to get her blood work done because, she said things can change, but more than likely nothing has changed. So yeah, pretty much just went there with no answers. Just kind of a general idea. It was hard because I'm not good at just the unknown. Like I need to know like the root problem and I like to solve it. I started to look into, I just wanted to go ahead and get her blood work done and maybe get her into a neurologist. I couldn't afford the MRI, but maybe they could at least help me figure out what's going on. Like, does she have some spinal issues, or is there something? I don't know, just some kind of answer, because I can't afford the MRI. which is bothersome too, because I want to be able to afford my dog's care, of course. Took her to the animal hospital, and then like 5 days later or so, I took her to her actual vet. He pretty much told me the same thing. It was just a bit more in depth. And she's been getting like these little tremor things. At points she would have, like in an hour's time, she would have like 5 or 6 of these, and then it has like tapered down. So the vet said like these could be like little miniature seizures is the way that I took it, or it could just be like the aftermath, like she may have had a stroke or something. It could be the aftermath after a seizure. Just still unknown stuff. He pretty much stuck to everything that the other vet said about, not needing the blood work done and stuff like now. And we'll just continue to observe and see how she does. So, yeah, it has been very draining, very stressful. She has not had another seizure, thank goodness. And I hope it remains that way. But, if she does, then we'll look into further evaluation. I have done plenty of research on, online, looking up articles from vet schools and just people, there's Reddit, Facebook. Here she is currently doing great. If you have any experience with the seizures or any advice, the comments are open. It is very scary, just a heads up. So remain calm the best you can in the situation. And they also said if her seizure lasts more, like over like 2 minutes or so, then I do need to get her to an emergency vet. Not sure what they would do at that point, but the longer seizures can be an issue. So yeah, thanks for joining in. Subscribe, like, comment, share if I interest you. Toodles! Also, if you're new here, I share my life with mental illnesses and working on recovery. So if that interests you, come along.